Okay, now distorting in head voice or falsetto is actually quite different than distorting in chest voice. Remember what I said about, again, building up our chest voice first so we could build a nice big foundation for our home, and then we back off the sound and we gently grow our head voice. And we talked about head voice having a real fluty, kind of sound, right? Instead of a nice bright tone, we usually start out with a fluty sound and we develop into a brighter sound. Well, in our speaking register, or our call register and speaking register, we actually have a lot more phonation, a lot brighter tone. The timbre is a lot brighter, and we have a lot more resonance in that sound. Up high, we actually use a lot more air in the sound, and we have to be a lot more careful of that. So we have to be even more careful of how much air we use in our falsetto register or our head voice registers than we do down in our chest register, even though that requires a lot, okay? So we start first with, growing, grow like a nice, really bright tone first, right? So once we do that, and we have that tone, we don't want to drag that sound down because it's pretty easy to do, especially for you rock guys out there, and I'm probably speaking a lot to the rock people out there. You're going to want to drag that tone down to your chest voice because when you're singing live, it's a lot easier to hand off your chest voice early or low into your head voice early and distort because it's just easier, right? Because it's the path of least resistance in the sense of laziness with the voice. However, that will actually ruin your voice over time. Let's sort of look at it like this. You have your chest, I'm going to compartmentalize this. You have your chest voice and your head voice. Well, if your chest voice can't sustain the strength of what it is you're trying to do, and you bring your head voice down into your chest voice to do the job for it, your chest voice is going to lose strength over time. Like any muscle in the body, it will atrophy, it will get weak. And then it continues to pull back and go even lower. And say, oh, if I could do it there, then I'll hand it off even lower. Well, I'll hand it off even lower. And then eventually it starts to separate, which is a drag. That's actually why a lot of people lose their voices, especially in their upper mid voice. And once that happens, there's like a continental drift that happens between your chest and your head voice. It tears between the two. Now, we already talked about there's a tearing process that happens when we grow our head voice. In fact, I cover this in the head voice portion of my course. I can't do all of this now because there's a whole section on this. But in the head voice part, what happens is we grow our head voice, it actually already tears at the chest voice until we grow both and fuse them together over time. Well, the more we lean into a sound, or the more air we add to that sound, the more it really tears into that chest voice, and it starts to go bye-bye, and you just lose a lot of range, and then you try to almost solely rely on your head voice early. That goes bye-bye, and then there's this giant gaping hole in your voice between your chest and your head voice, and you lose most all of your range. So, but if you keep your chest voice nice and strong, again, we're building a runner's body. We want to put that runner any style he wants to go into. So this is true if you want to distort or not distort your voice. This is true for that section of this. Now, it's even more true for when you do want to distort your voice. So if I'm going to go, hey, like kind of hit it with like a crazy sound, or and in fact, even a growl sound, you can look up some of the videos that I have on this. It's I go through different stages of this. What you'll learn is that you can start to grow this head voice sound first, lean into it just like we talked about the chest voice, but don't bring it down so low into your chest voice that it atrophies. Now, ladies, caveat to you, a small warning. Your voice is different than guys, and the way you distort your voice is different than guys. I prefer that I stretch your chest voice up nice and high and use your chest voice for your distortion, and try not to distort so much of your head voice because you're wired differently vocally, so to speak. I'm not saying you can't do that. It's a little more dangerous for you because of the way this works out, okay? We talk about that more in the head voice portion of my course. And again, this is the glottal compression part of Volume 3.